right, welcome back to episode 51 of the Hops and Bops podcast. I am producer Tom.
I'm Joe.
I am Mike.
And today we have brought to the table in the garage during a rainstorm, Saab Rock by John Mayer, his newest 2021 release. And to pair with that, we have the mango, pink guava, and raspberry Fizz line of light sours from Tribus Beer Company.
Yes.
One of Joe's favorites. Or at least as a brewery themselves.
Brewery, yes. I love it there. I love their beers. I love what they do, like with promotion and stuff like that and graphics. I love them. So, yeah, I asked the guys if I can do the beer and the album this episode. So, here you go.
We allowed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, let's start with the beers. I'm bringing, as Tom mentioned, Tribus's new light soured line series. It's called Fizz. They're supposed to drink like a seltzer, but it's still a beer.
Okay.
So, I mean, a lot of their beers are on the heavier end. Even their sours are kind of heavier. They look like an IPA. These are very, very light. So, as we like to say, crushable. And as of right now, as recording, they have three different flavors. They have mango. They came out with mango first. Then came pink guava. And then now the latest is raspberry. I feel like they're almost ready to release another flavor, but I don't know what it is. So these are the three flavors that are out right now.
So you really don't have that much of an in then. Because you don't know the next flavor.
I knew about raspberry going in. I can't reveal how much I know because I don't want to get in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hidden contracts and
Yeah.
such. Yeah. It's okay. So.
But no, they're just great guys over there. Before we get too deep into the beers and drinking them, I actually have a special message from one of the head brewers and co-owners of Tribus. Last time we heard from Sebastian. Today we're hearing from Matt Weichner.
Well, thank you, Matt.
Yeah, one of the three co-owners of Tribus, and he's one of the brewers there. He was kind enough to share with us a special message about the Fizz beers. So take it away, Matt.
Hey, Hops and Bops podcast. Thanks for trying out our fizzes and talking about our fizzes. It's our light sour series that we put in 12-ounce slim, sleek cans. It's a nice light sour, 4.2%, and then we just do some different fruit variants. Mango, pink guava we did this summer, and then we just did our raspberry. We possibly might do a few other versions this fall, winter, and then definitely hit it hard next summer. It's kind of our like seltzer-like beer, but still no compromise. We're still doing beer as a Tribus Beer Company. The mango one obviously is big mango, nice and dry at the end. Pink guava's got a little more pithiness to it, and then the raspberry's got that big sweetness up front from like a nice tart raspberry. Yeah, hopefully we have some more in the future. Cheers.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. I've had the mango and the pink guava so far. I haven't had the raspberry yet. I wanted to save that for today.
Okay.
So I actually think the best way to drink them is in release order.
Okay.
So I would suggest going the mango first.
Sure.
Raspberry definitely last because from what I've heard, it is pretty tart. So
Okay.
I don't want that flavor to impact the others.
Interesting.
So
Get a little bit of everything in there.
yeah, let's do mango. Let's do it.
Crack that one open.
Yep. So yeah, this is the first one that came out, and
Definitely fizzier.
it's quite the when you think of seltzers, mango and black cherry. So they went with mango first. This one's very good. I really like this one. So there we go. The cans, like they said, they look just like seltzer cans, White Claw cans.
Yep,
It's
yeah.
all white and just the picture of the flavor.
Yep.
So yeah, mango fizz. Cheers. Here we go.
Cheers. A very quiet, muted cheers from our solo cups.
First of three.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Not a ton going on there.
But I think that's the point. I definitely taste the mango, and it's definitely a beer, but it's a lot lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
it has that wheat flavor.
I thought it was going to be a bit more seltzery.
Yeah, agreed.
But I'm glad that it isn't because I don't like seltzers.
Right. So this is their basically this is their entry kind of into the seltzer market.
It's like
but they
half
don't want
and
to
half.
do a seltzer. They want it to look like a seltzer. They want it to drink lightly like a seltzer, but it's still a beer. So there's like Matt said in his little sound clip, it's still beer from
Ooh.
Tribus Beer Co.
I really like that.
Yeah, mango was delicious when it first came out.
Interesting.
I had brought mango. I forget what it was. Mango Zazz, and it had the
peach
lemon
mango, I think.
Was it mango peach? And it had
Yeah,
like a
let me look that
lemon
up.
hint to it. This is just like straight up mango with the light beer. And
Interesting.
yeah, these are great for summer. So I really like this one.
Yep.
Mm.
I can't find it.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I like it. I think it goes down smooth. I feel like it's lacking a little bit of flavor, like it's a little bland, and then you get kind of a kick of that almost like a wheat kind of a wheat beer flavor at the end. I wish there was maybe a little bit more of that fruit.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I know it's a light sour. I will say I don't really taste sour at all.
Yeah.
Like I taste just like the little bit of the mango flavor with like a little bit of like that beer flavor at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I like it quite a bit.
Yeah, I definitely taste the sourness of it. It's not like their IPAs or their other beers.
I don't really get a weediness from it though. I don't see
that's
where
what I
that's
get at
coming
the
from.
end.
I taste the sour.
Yeah,
A little aftertaste of like that, like if you were to drink like
Maybe.
almost like a Blue Moon kind of. There's like that wheat flavor. I don't know. I don't really know how else I'll describe it.
I will say, like I've mentioned in prior episodes, they constantly rotate their beer. So like, once they sell out of a certain beer or a flavor of a beer, they won't put it out again until way later. So I bought these mangoes. They were canned on June 29th.
Not too bad.
But I've had them in my fridge.
Yeah.
They're still fresh.
Oh yeah.
But it was the first flavor that came out, so it's been a while since this has been available. But yeah, I liked it a lot. So
Yeah, I don't mind it.
yeah,
Like I said, I just wish I had a little more mango.
yeah,
A little more. Of
I
that
could agree with
mango
that.
flavor.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
I was surprised by that because again, I'm not a big seltzer guy at all, and I feel like it downplayed a bit of that into the more sour end of it. So
Right.
and it's a bit on the lighter side too, so it's not gonna knock you on your ass either. So
Right. Right.
especially for something like this, I think that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that a lot.
I think they were just smart in releasing this kind of beer to target more people
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of their beers tend to be. They do great sours, but they are heavier, and a lot of their beers are like on the IPA end, double IPA end, and not everyone drinks that. So they, by creating this, they're able to attract a lot more people into the door and give them something to drink while they're there. So I think it was smart. But,
Awesome.
yeah.
Nice.
So shall we get into our album of the episode?
Sure. You want to? Yeah. So like as we'll go into the episode, we'll go back and then get the other.
Yeah, we'll spread the beers out.
Yes.
So the album I picked, it was one that I wanted to do since it came out. It's called Sob Rock by John Mayer, another John Mayer album, Connecticut's own. It's his
Connecticut's own.
it's his 8th studio album, 10 tracks, about 38 minutes long, so not terribly long. Which I've actually found myself recently about like longer albums. I'm like, So I've been looking at the length of the album lately, which I don't like doing, but I have, and I'm like, okay, all right, I could do this. I can do this.
Yeah, I can see that. Unless you're in love with every single track.
Yeah,
then,
right.
like,
Yeah.
Right. So what I like most about this album is his approach to it, like promotionally. The album cover is straight out of the 80s. His commercials for it straight out of the 80s. A lot of social media content straight out of the 80s. Music videos.
Yep.
If you play it on Spotify, like the little videos that play while you're listening to the song.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cassette tape of the album rolling.
I saw that.
Like I love that stuff, and I like the 80s 90s retro vibe with things. So when this came out, and a lot of the songs have that too. A lot of like synth in there. A lot of like the drum treatments on there are very 80s, and I kind of like that. He kind of put this out at a good time for that retro vibe, and I wanted to bring it here. So we've talked about John Mayer in the past. His John Mayer Trio album,
Yep.
Yep.
live. it was called Try.
Yes.
It's a live
Yes.
album. Yeah. And so here we go. This is strictly John Mayer. It's not the John Mayer trio. It's him. So yeah, I mean, first impressions.
I really liked it. I think it incorporates a lot of, like you were saying, 80s vibes and nostalgia without being too tongue-in-cheek or too, like,
Yeah.
you know, like...
Gimmicky.
Yeah. There are songs on it. I feel like a lot of these slower songs or, like, ballads sound like almost country-ish.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of the guitar that he incorporates a little bit more pluckier, especially closer to the end.
Yeah.
Sound like country ballads, not like, you know, all twangy, but a lot of that style of country, at least that probably came out during that time.
Yeah.
I feel like he borrows a lot from that. So I wasn't a huge fan of some of those, but the singles on here I think are great. I could definitely see myself on like a boat or something, just kind of driving around in the sunset and listen to this kind of stuff.
It does have a lot of yacht rock.
I was
vibes to it,
about to say that, and I think the title kind of mirrors that a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Where, you know, Saab rock, yacht rock, that kind of style, he's kind of
Yeah.
trying to mimic a lot.
Right. And like, let's be clear, you know, there's a lot of ballads on this. He's definitely in his feels on this album.
Yeah.
It's called Saab rock, you know.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
I felt like I listened to the same song 10 times.
Yeah, Mike had mentioned that to me before.
Yeah.
Ugh, God, extremely this. If we had done this prior on the 50th episode, this would have hands down probably been my most disappointing album. I listened to it a second time today, but I listened to about a minute of each song and then moved on to the next.
Yeah.
There was not one song that I could honestly say I enjoyed.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, no, I did
Wow.
not.
There's a handful on
I
here.
think part of it was just after a while I got so bored and
Mm-hmm.
so literally like I was having trouble telling them apart, and
Yeah.
it was
Well,
it
a lot
was-
of his vocal range is very
Nah.
much in the same like 8-9 notes that he kind of goes for.
And I will say there's not a lot of spectacular guitar work on here.
That's
Yeah.
not.
It
I listen to
relies-
John Mayer because he's a disgusting guitarist,
Right.
and I literally.
But a lot
was
of his
like,
solo
why
stuff
did he
doesn't
play?
have it. A lot of his solo
I don't
stuff.
listen to that either, so.
But
That's what I'm saying.
Here we
I'm
are,
not-
right? So I'm not saying this is like one of my favorite albums of all time. I'm not even saying it's a favorite album. It's just I wanted to bring his latest.
I also don't enjoy the '80s music. Never
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
So you combine this with that, and
Yeah.
it was like, holy shit, it was bad.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a thing of when you were kind of raised too, because that happens with me a lot with a lot of 90s music. I feel like it's like 5-10 years before you were born, like that kind of style, because like I don't like any new metal like that, and you guys seem to enjoy a fair bit of that, so I could totally understand why you guys are
Depends on
not
who
big
it is.
Yeah.
not big 80s guys in general.
Like
Yeah.
the
But to be
fir-
granted, there's not a lot
Yeah,
of
like when you come in
fantastic
with
80s
Last
songs.
Train Home, the first thing I thought of was like, oh, John Mayer's doing a shittier version of Toto. Like that's all I heard.
Yeah, right.
Like it literally sounded like a bad version of Africa.
Yeah. Right. The keyboards does a lot.
It was
I
just
liked it.
terrible.
I like this song. I'm just gonna go out. This is my favorite song on the album. It starts off really strong. I like
We're gonna
his
fight this episode.
yep. I like his guitar work, how it's more subtle and it complements the synth. It kind of shows that he's trying out a different kind of genre, a different era.
hmm
I like his vocals in it. I think it's a very just nice smooth song.
Yes, buttery smooth. This
Yes.
is like Phil Collins-esque for me.
Yeah.
Very good way. Like
Yeah.
this is like if like the Tarzan soundtrack was on antidepressants.
Yeah.
In a good way. In
Yeah.
a good way.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like those synths. They play well with his vocals, which
Yep.
are not as flashy as they have been on previous releases
Yeah.
from him.
Mhm.
And I've never really been a big like solo John Mayer fan.
Me neither.
I know a lot of what he's released previous to this was very lackluster.
Mhm.
And he hasn't put out an album in like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Like
It's
seven
been
Like
a
The
while.
Search for Everything was his last album. And that was
17.
like kind of artsy and boring. I think I listened to a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I haven't liked anything that he's released since like 2009. Battle Studies, that was a decent album.
Mhm.
But like he
But
hasn't
he-
really been in the mainstream for a while now. hmm
Mike, you don't like this song?
Yeah, I literally couldn't get Africa out of my head. Like that's all I could hear, with those dun dun, 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 those keys are like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just
It is
this
redundant.
whole album sounded like a giant ripoff to me. Like that's all it did.
Yeah.
And especially coming from someone as talented as him, it seemed like a guy was like, I didn't see any showcase of what makes John Mayer Mayer in this album.
That's my biggest problem with him is the music he puts out solo is not what he should be putting out. But
I mean, the
he's getting
dude
streams and
rocks an
everything.
SRV tattoo,
Right.
and then like I'm not saying he has to play that style of music, but again, you see him on his blues trio, even his live stuff. He takes songs like this and he plays them live, and it's like holy shit because he puts in a guitar solo, or he vocally projects a little bit more of where he can actually sing. When he's in this lower register, he has an annoying as fuck voice. Like it's just that nasally kind of like grumbly. But when he actually sings and actually goes for it, I think he's got a pretty good voice.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was just a very monotonous, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Put me to sleep.
I feel like a lot of that is the genre too. Like a lot of the '80s vibes and styles that they were going for at the time are coming back a bit in popular music.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's just kind of trying to grab that market to incorporate into his albums, and I can totally see like the kind of music that Mike is into. When we did the Try album, that's right up your alley. Bluesier, like
Right.
kind of
the
showcases.
Continuum album too.
And like I loved like in that album he took some of his songs like Daughters and Gravity and these songs that were pop songs, and he just did more of him, and like all of a sudden they were like they weren't pop songs, they were good. And I don't know.
Well, this album seems to be very lyrically driven, and it's called Saab rock, so there's going to be a lot of low energy songs, and
and I mean you'll notice from a lot of the albums we've done, like I don't mind ballads. There's just something about this album, like I literally felt like I listened to the same song 10 times, and it's like jump off a bridge or figure it out. Like at this point, like it was just so, I don't know, man. It was rough.
Okay. I don't know. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? The next song.
Shouldn't matter, but it does.
Yeah. It shouldn't matter, but it does. It shouldn't have been song number 2.
But it was.
Yes. Well done there, Tom. This was. I really like Last Train Home. It's like up tempo for me. It has a cool, like, relaxed vibe. And then going right into this track 2, it kind of like lost my hope for the album a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's good lyrically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for the time, there's so many shitty '80s ballads out there.
Right. Michael Bolton and.
Oh yeah. Anyone who up that alley.
Yeah. Right. This is right after that. Right. Going after that.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's okay. I feel like it's more based off of the content of what he's trying to talk about, and
Right.
less on the musical end.
Right, for sure.
There's a part where he's like, shouldn't be angry. It could have been always me. We could have been busy naming baby number 3.
Right.
I'm assuming that's for, his wife or whatever it was. But, in terms of the ballads, I would say it's probably my favorite ballad, but in terms of songs,
Yeah.
there are other songs that I like more than this.
For sure.
By a long shot.
For sure. Michael?
Yep, no.
I'm
That's
bored,
about it.
Bored
Yeah.
and annoyed at this point. I'm 2 songs in.
So track 3.
But New Light, I fucking love New Light. New Light's a great song. I've listened to it before the album came out. I listened to it as a single.
Yep.
This I feel like isn't really. It's still 80s, but I don't think it's as 80s.
It's still 80s. It has a very like Stevie Nicks kind of intro vibe for me. Like Fleetwood Mac kind of.
Yeah, I got that.
But then the electronics bring it to current day. So I thought it was a good blending of the 2 eras. This isn't my favorite song, but it's good. I don't know. It's a good like background track.
It's faster and boring.
It's boring but faster. Okay.
My
I'm telling you, I listened to it twice, and I tried, and the second time through, I was like,
Yeah.
I was almost more annoyed than the first time through.
Yeah.
I don't know. I struggled with this bad.
Well, we all try.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to hear your ratings after this. One of my favorite parts of the song, though, is he went to go get a budget for the music video for it, and no one in his label could like figure out what it should be. So he just left and went to a place downtown and went to a company that does birthday and bar mitzvah videos. And he was like, "Hey, I need just a bunch of like green screen shots of me doing random stuff, and you want to make the music video for it?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it." So he made it for like just like a couple $1,000, I guess.
Yep.
And it's just so random. Like he'll be just like in a grassy field, just like waving to himself. It's just him in like a sweatshirt and sweatpants. It's so funny.
That's funny.
Yeah. No, I love the vibe of this. This is very like.
Yeah. It's just laid back.
Yeah, it's kind of like driving a bit slow. It's like in driving like 45 down like a back road.
Yeah.
Window down.
Well, it's funny you said driving because one of his little promotional like social media clips was him in a car. He pulls up to the shop, and he has a cassette in his hand, and he goes, "This is Saab rock," and then he inserted it in, and then it plays. So yeah, it's like a good kind of driving kind of thing. As I'm listening here, it had kind of a nice like funky bridge section. Yeah, I like that. That was fun. Wasn't bad.
Yeah, the solo is like a bit more laid back, but it's still pretty adds a lot to the song, I think.
Yeah.
Just enough to keep it from being redundant after a while.
Yep.
Mike's looking down and to the left.
No, I don't know.
You don't know.
I guess it's the best of the first three.
Yeah.
That's
all right.
the most I can say.
That's a positive thing that you said.
All right, first
Like-
third of the album.
You know,
we found our. All right.
You know what? Let's
We're
leave.
3 songs in, and this still is not John Mayer.
But it is John Mayer.
But the
It's
John
not
Mayer
the
you
John
like.
Mayer you want.
Yes.
This is him, unfortunately.
Unfortunately,
But
I don't know how the dude makes any fucking
Something's
money.
working because he's still around.
The song has like 400 million streams, though.
It's nuts. I'm not a huge fan of this particular song. Even the album as a whole is like, it was good, not great, but something's working. I don't know. Something's working.
I sure as fuck don't know.
Well, as we put it on Mike's highest song so far, which has been so low, why don't we transfer into our next
Beer. Let's do it.
Pink
Yeah, good.
guava?
I started
Yeah,
that
so
song,
Pink
I need a
Guava
break.
next. Yeah. Pink Guava. So I have a cool little story behind this one.
Ooh.
Apparently, the guys over at Tribus said that they wanted this flavor to be their next Zazz
Okay.
sour, which was just their normal sour on the heavier end. But mango was such a big hit for Fizz that they were like, let's make Pink Guava. Let's put that flavor as our next Fizz. So yeah, I'm curious to see what you guys will
Crack the top, Joe.
Pink Guava Fizz. These are, by the way, 4.2% light sour, all consistent.
They came in 4-packs, right?
4-packs, yes.
How much?
Buying as 4-packs.
Were they on the expensive side?
They were like $14.
All right.
You buy them in brewery. They don't sell their beer
They don't
in
distribute
package
it?
stores. No, they don't. They
Oh.
don't distribute it
You had to go on site.
on site or online and
Is there a
pre-order.
reason for
I
that?
feel like I've seen a Tribus beer in store before.
Have
though.
you? Yeah.
I feel like I have.
I don't know the reason behind it, but I think it's smart. It gets people to their brewery.
This one smells more like a sour to me.
Yeah.
So, give it a little
Pink
swirl.
Guava.
A little. You got to waft in the smell.
Mhm.
Then we drink.
So, I know nothing about the fruit Pink Guava. I don't know what the hell it's supposed to taste like.
Okay.
I will say I was not a huge fan of this one compared to the mango. When this one came out, I was like, kind of lost me a little bit. Not a big fan of this flavor.
I would say, yeah, it's a bit more washed out, I would say. It's still good. It doesn't really have too much bite to it, but it's very much all together. There's no, like, front and back taste for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think this has a little more flavor than the mango,
Really?
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the third one's going to probably have the most flavor because they
Yeah.
said it's the most tart. And
Probably
raspberry,
wow.
you can't miss it.
That'll
you
be
know.
the one I'll like. Because I like to
That-
bite to them.
Yeah, that's all right.
This one I taste a little more sour, a little bit more flavor. I think maybe that wheat flavor, like that beer flavor in the back from the first one, was almost because there wasn't a ton of the front flavor with the mango.
Right.
Where this has a little bit more of that, so it's all kind of like you said, Tom, blending together.
Okay.
I'm not sure what hops they use.
It's a family recipe.
I can maybe look into that while we're talking. But yeah, pink guava.
That one's got I like that one. I like that one a little more.
Okay.
Mike's being the contrary on this episode.
I said it. I'm a dick.
That's good. If we all said the same shit, it wouldn't be interesting.
Ifs and buts were candy and nuts. We'd all have a Merry Christmas.
I'm not shitting on this particular drink, but if this is what pink guava tastes like, I see other pink guava beers on the market, and it doesn't really inspire me to
venture out.
To venture out to that flavor. I'm much more of a citrus guy. I love mango. I love orange. That's kind of up my route.
Maybe it's just because I've never had
a
pink guava fruit or any kind of guava-esque tasting thing. That it's been a little off-putting just because I'm more used to mango stuff. But it wasn't bad. I still enjoyed it, but it was just a little more homogeneous. Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't think that's the word I'm looking for.
It was a good word, though. I like the word.
It wasn't as much variation that I wanted.
I'm glad you put your 2 weeks notice in your current job. It shows.
Yeah.
You're clearly overqualified for that position.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
Quite.
Quite. All right, cool. So now that we're sipping on that, let's talk about another few tracks.
Why you love me?
But I do.
You do?
Yeah.
You do yes love me?
I wasn't a huge fan of this song.
Another ballad.
Yeah. When he gets to the chorus and he says, "Why you no love me," I thought it was like kind of corny, kind of like, I don't know.
I like the verses.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Why you no love me?
Yeah, it drags a little bit for me. I think it still has some good qualities to it. I like just the general feel of the song, which is not a good description of anything. But it is a little tongue in cheek. This is the part of the album that kind of gets to that point for me.
Mm-hmm. I will say the saving grace for this particular song is his guitar solo towards the end.
Yes.
Around the 3-minute mark.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this solo, and it kind of showcases his talent pretty well. I also liked the drummer had I forget what they call them, but it's kind of beads that you hang from the lug nut or whatever.
Okay.
And it rests on the cymbal, so that when you hit it, it kind of vibrates. Rattles. Yeah. And I kind of like that. It was kind of a good compliment for the solo. But
this is a song I feel like my parents would really enjoy. I actually sent this album to my mom because I was like, "You would love this album. Go check this out." Because I very much this style of music, like 80s ballady, kind of pop rock-esque styles. But I do agree. I really like the solo at the end. It's a bit more.
It's a nice solo.
It's a bit tougher and not as simple as a lot of the other things.
Mm-hmm. A little more complex.
The "Why You No Love Me" sounds like a toddler talking to their mom.
Right. And that's why I don't like it.
It really annoys me.
Yeah.
It sounds like something some woman would post on Facebook that her son said to her. Some single mom would post as her son said to her in the morning, because she didn't make his toast right or something.
Right.
I don't know.
Hurt my toast. Why you don't love me?
Zooming right into that driveway.
That's one of the kids coming in hot.
Jesus Christ, coming in hot. Lord. I like the ending, how the oohs and the ahs kind of, and then they rang out. That was kind of nice.
I do like his harmonies on the song. I'll give him that too.
Yep.
There are bits to the song that I think work well, but in terms of a whole concept and all the parts coming together, not really my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
Not my cup of fizz.
Yeah. After that goes into Wild Blue, which this song I think the current single is getting a lot of play right now. A little more up tempo, but this was not not one of my
There's
favorites
just
either.
there's
there.
no variation at all.
I
Yeah.
don't like this one. This is my
Like
probably my
I'm
least.
just like,
This
why
one
weren't
vocally is
you-
annoying.
Why
He
weren't
doesn't
you
really-
bored making this?
Yeah. It's what he was going
He's
for.
probably coked
He
out.
wanted.
Or the other one. No,
Yeah, you'd have
probably
to be
taking
on
downers.
Yeah.
Uppers and downers.
Yeah.
Christ.
Well, he's going to be the 80s. It probably would be coke.
Yeah.
But I was just... yes. Well...
Yeah. Vocally, it was very boring.
This is a snoozer.
Mhm.
Terrible.
So let's not dwell on it then. We'll just go along. We don't want to. This one's kind of
Shot in the dark.
Yeah, this is like yacht rock for me.
This is absolutely.
You're out on a boat.
You're walking up to the second floor of your yacht.
Yeah.
Your wife and your mistress are choosing with
They're on
their
different
bubbly.
floors.
They're on different floors. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this one wasn't bad. I kind of liked it.
Yeah. This is yeah. You could hear this on a Pandora station somewhere.
Oh yeah, for sure. Coming to a Walmart near you in 2 years,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
right? Walmart
Yeah.
radio, whatever they call it.
Is this one of the singles?
It is. Come to find out, there's 6 singles already listed on Wikipedia.
Yep.
Really?
So that's 2/3 of the album.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
So,
So in terms of sleepers, we don't really have to be too.
no, I mean I already
Scarce with
have my sleeper picked, but
In terms
apparently
of yeah,
it's not going to count as a sleeper, but we're counting it.
yeah. In terms of like favorite songs on this, I'd say this is one of my top 3, top 4 favorite songs.
Yeah,
It's very much in the vein of all the other songs that he's written before. I feel like he incorporates a lot of what he does well into this song, and that's his
Mhm.
vocal melodies are really tight. I like the harmonies on the chorus. Decent hook, not very memorable, but
yeah.
I like the guitars playing well, a little bit more ambient.
Mm-hmm.
It comes in a bit more halfway through,
Mm-hmm.
gets a little bit more uppity, but I liked it.
There's a section at like the 2-minute mark that I liked. It's kind of like very airy and open.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that. Then it leads into a nice little guitar solo.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good song.
I
It's
feel
one
like
of the
John
betters.
Mayer, because if you look at who played the instrument, was like, listen, guys, I'm going to play guitars, I'm going to sing, but I'm also going to play piano and keyboards. And everyone was like, yeah. And he's like, no, I'm doing it. And then this is what happened.
Does he really play?
There's no guitar.
Is he credited? Yeah.
He's credited for keyboards on track 1, 4, 8 through 10, piano track 2 and 6, and then bass tracks 4,
Again,
6, and 8.
He is a solo artist.
So he just decided he was going to play all the instruments, and everyone was kind of like, I don't know.
You
And
do
he's
you.
like, yes, I am. And then here we are.
Yeah.
It was a real shot in the dark.
Yeah. Kind of like how it ended. The guitar in there kind of reminds me of what's that Michael Jackson song?
I feel like he
I
does.
don't know.
He just does a lot of repeating like lyrics in this album. Like he just, especially towards the end of songs, it's just like repeat one line. I'm like, dude, I heard it.
Yeah, he
Next.
tries drags it out a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah. But so this next song, I guess I just feel like if I could just steal the air for a minute.
Oh, it's stolen.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I just feel like, without getting into too many specifics, I just recently went through some shit and still going through it. And kind of in the middle of it, I was listening to the albums, I wanted to give it a shot, and I heard this song, and for whatever reason, I latched onto the lyrics right away. It was a very easy to listen to song, and if you don't know, I don't listen to music for the lyrics, but I was able to understand every word and hear every word, and what he is talking about. I can't even listen to the song because I'm just
Cue it
gonna.
up.
Yeah, oh yeah. What he talks about in this song is exactly what I was going through, and I'm still going through.
Mhm.
And yeah, he. Well done. It's such a simple song, and towards the end, like that last line, I was like, "Holy shit, this is me right here." And if I ever need to like kind of let loose a little bit, this is a song I go to. Like if you guys don't like it, you can feel free. Don't feel like you can't shit on it. Like go ahead. But I just wanted, it's kind of therapeutic for me. Like this is This is a kind of, I don't want to say a special song, but this is a meaningful song.
Well, I think
to
up
me
until
right
this point, this is the first song that actually sounded somewhat like a John Mayer ballad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it didn't sound like he tried to do anything else except write a song.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like, oh, I need to add these keys, I need to add this synth, I need to have this little riff and airy guitar solo to sound very 80s. Like, I feel like this was just kind of like a John Mayer song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very simple. It's not the most complex song lyrically and musically, but man, it just
Yeah.
hit me right in the feels, as everyone says. Yeah, so this is
In my opinion, it's the best guitar solo he's had so far.
yeah.
Yes, I will say that his instrumental break, as it says on here, is definitely one of the better moments on this.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no, it's simple. It's no frills, but it doesn't have to. You know, I just feel like the way that he incorporated some of his 80s-ish style instrumentation and lyrics and all this. It does play well for it in some cases, but there are other parts, like Mike said, where it can be a bit overbearing at times.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like, straight right down the middle. This is John Mayer ballad. Like,
Yeah.
this is what he does well, and
Mm-hmm.
I think he nails it perfectly.
Yeah.
I actually lied before. This is my favorite ballad.
Yeah.
I forgot about this until right now.
Until
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, but this is good. This is good.
Yeah.
It's a bit airier, kind of leaves things open,
Mm-hmm.
but it plays well.
It's a needed departure from the retro vibe. Like, as you said, it's not really that. It's more up his alley, what you would expect from a John Mayer ballad.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, this is just one of those songs.
It's just
It picks
one
up
of
a little
those
bit
songs.
at the
Yeah.
end.
Yep. Kind of hits that little falsetto note in the end of the third verse.
Mm-hmm.
No blind night.
Another guitar solo. I mean,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
this sounded more like a down point in like a John Mayer album.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like just the ballad, then little guitar solo, a little pickup at the end. More classic rock than 80s
Mm-hmm.
feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
So far, the only song that's decent to say about.
You know what I think we need right now? I think we need some raspberry fizz.
I think we do need some raspberry fizz to bring us
Go,
into
pick me
our
up time.
last third. So this is the most recent flavor, raspberry. Upon recording this episode, I think
Yes.
once it comes out, they'll probably have a fourth, which really bugs me because I'm thinking of the picture.
Mhm.
It's going to be not symmetric. I would have loved to have two
Yeah.
beers on either side of the album, but
one of your bugaboos.
one of my bugaboos. What are you going to do?
Mhm.
But I have not had this one yet. I saved it. I didn't want to pre-try it. I wanted to have an authentic first taste like you guys.
All right.
So here we go. Raspberry fizz, still 4.2.
Well,
nice
definitely
reddish
redder.
color.
Yeah, the other two were kind of a blondish, if
Yep.
you will.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this one's definitely been on the.
I do expect Mike to like this one the best. Just knowing.
Ooh.
And the beer we just had last episode, he brought the Harvester version. So raspberry
A little more
fizz.
bite just in the smell alone.
Yeah, it's definitely
Yep.
tart. Everyone's saying it's tart. So, yep.
Ooh,
It's good.
Wow, that's really good. I like that a lot.
that's like right down the middle of seltzer and sour for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the closest they've come to like a really good mix of the two.
This is the flavor of raspberry you would expect from a seltzer, yet it's still
Got
beer.
that, yeah, it's got that sour bite to it.
Yep. Yeah, this is not unpleasant at all. This is really good.
No, I like that one.
Mm-hmm. This is very good.
Mm-hmm. I'm still another sip.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Ooh, wow. That is really good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was a little afraid because I'm not a huge sour guy. I'm warming up to them, but especially the tart berries, I'm not. It's not for me. But this is just tart enough, and it's good because it's a light sour, so they didn't want to go too
Exactly.
far.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I like it.
I think it plays well with what it's trying to go for.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I think this is exactly what it's describing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A light sour,
Mhm.
tastes like raspberry. It's not a seltzer. It's a beer. Like, I think this embodies what they were going for to its fullest so
Yeah,
far.
Mhm.
for sure, for sure.
Definitely.
Yep. Nice. Yeah, very good. Cool. So nice tickle the taste buds as we head into our final third.
Till the right one comes.
Till the right one comes.
I like this one.
It's not bad.
Till the right one comes.
Yep.
Just kind of. When it gets to the outro, when he kind of repeats that for a while, I can understand on Mike's.
I feel like he does it on too many songs.
Yeah.
He did it on Shouldn't Matter But It Does, Last Train Home, Shot in the Dark. I mean, like, he just, every one, he just likes to repeat the ending and...
That was the same thing with, like, the Panic album that my sister and I did. They did the exact same thing, and I kind of marked it down a little bit for that. And, you know, it's not really, like, it's a lack of songwriting ability, because he clearly has it. I think he shows a fair bit of good traits on that for the whole album. But it does get a bit repetitive after a while.
This sounds like the Eagles to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like, kind of like that, like...
A little bit.
I guess you could say twangy, country-ish, like classic rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a little, like, lick or wherever it was where he goes... That's where that kind of country element plays in a bit for me, too. That sounded very hillbilly-esque.
I don't know, I feel like we hit track 7, he went from like straight 80s to like he jumped back a couple decades and now he's kind of in a country rock run.
Although that weird synth in there does kind of bring it back in for me. Also, I do want to mention, I really like the album cover itself.
Yes.
I like how it has the nice price on it, which is exactly what you'd see from getting like an old vinyl at the time.
Yep, on the cellophane wrapping.
This looks like it could be in my basement in the milk carton that we have down there.
Yep,
like
full of records.
Yeah, absolutely.
We all have that.
It's got like the price tag in the top left, but it just says Spotify 2021.
Yep.
Like this is very Lionel Richie looking.
Yeah. I'm also a big fan of the font they chose for the album title.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of like I don't know, like Wham or you know any of those like 80s, you know, Hall & Oates,
Breakfast in America, that kind of
style.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a fine line with going retro and ripping it off.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mike's more on the end of ripping it off, and I can kind of see that somewhat, but I don't know. I think he did a good job of encompassing it all, like in terms of promoting it and the album cover and the song styles. Like he adopted or adapted to everything. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
And Carry Me Away is next.
Yep.
This one doesn't sound as 80s to me. I feel like this is the most modern song that he's put out so far.
Yeah.
Short.
Yep, 2.5 minutes. But I mean,
feel like he just repeatedly says "Carry Me Away."
Carry me away.
Like he just keeps saying it.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those effects in the background, like those woodblock hits, that's 80s. But if you take those away, it's not necessarily a retro song.
Yeah. This was another single, too, I think.
Just mediocre. I mean, there's nothing special about this song, in my opinion. It just sounded very
Yeah.
You know, it didn't sound too 80s, it didn't sound too modern, but it didn't have anything that made me like, oh, wow, this was...
Yeah, pretty middle of the road for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not much to say about that one.
Yeah, exactly.
So then we go into our finale.
The closing track, All I Want Is to Be With You.
I really like this one. Kind of has like a bluesy guitar.
Yeah.
I like the notes he chose, the key it's in. I don't know, it kind of has that like desert kind of riding off into the desert feel at the end of a movie or something like that.
Like a Western.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I can give you that one.
Yeah.
Kind of got that little Western vibe going on.
Kicking your spurs. Yeah, this one definitely is the most like has the most country elements for me. You know.
Yeah.
You know, kind of
Start boring, end boring.
Yeah, this definitely coasts out the rest of the album. But yeah.
Yeah, there you go. All I want is to be with you.
Thank you, Joe.
Which it was funny because again, I'm not listening to a lot of the lyrics, but it seems like he's talking about like, breakups and sad moments, and now he's ending the album with kind of a longing, like he wants something that maybe he can't have, or he wants something that maybe failed.
I think it's for someone else too. I think that's what the Genius thing was talking about. I think it's like a campaign for another lover is what it says. This is a recurring theme in his previous album, The Search for Everything, mostly written about Katy Perry. And the song is probably about her again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because they had a thing, remember that?
Interesting. Yeah.
So maybe that's about her.
He had a thing with
a lot
probably
of
everyone.
Yeah. Probably the father of a fair bit of children in the tri-state area.
Yeah. Johnny Mayer.
It's Connecticut's own.
Yep. Connecticut's own.
That is
there you go.
The whole thing.
That is Saab Rock.
Thoughts, Mike?
I don't know.
Anything change?
No.
Anything Did we sway any of your opinions?
Absolutely not.
Well,
I liked it.
That was hard. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
Was
it
hard.
was hard.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was too.
Well, let's get into some key tracks here.
Yes.
Top track.
Okay.
I'll start.
Okay.
Last Train Home. I didn't think it was a downer. I thought it was, the right amount of energy. I wish there were more songs with this kind of up-tempo vibe throughout the album.
Yeah.
There kind of were, like, maybe like Shot in the Dark was kind of like that, and New Light was kind of like that, but I really liked this song. This is my go-to song for this album, Last Train Home.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I really liked New Light. That was one of my favorites. I've been a fan of this since way before this album came out.
Mm-hmm.
I put this in a playlist in February of 2019.
Oh, wow.
So,
really?
Yeah. That's how long that single has been out for.
Wow.
Well, it's probably been out before then, too, because, let's see when that released.
He probably delayed it.
2018, actually.
2018, you're
like
right.
late 2018.
Holy shit, wow.
So the singles for this have been out for a while.
That is right.
But yeah, I'm a huge fan of that track. It's very, very groovy. You can definitely kind of bounce to it a bit more than the other tracks, and has a great vibe to it. So New Light, my favorite track.
Quick side note, Mike, before you jump in, I think they consider Last Train Home to be like the debut single. Maybe the other 3 songs that were released in 2018 and 2019 were just kind of like, hey, here's a song I wrote. Yeah, and then he just included it on the album. Maybe, I don't know. But
I will say, quick side note, Last Train Home, that's my favorite out of the songs that I haven't heard before.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So if I was to give him that, I would say that was my favorite one from that. But yes.
I guess I'm gonna go with I just feel like, only because I really like the guitar solo and it sounded the most John Mayer to me, like the style that I like from him. So I mean, that'd be the one song I was like, if I could listen to it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
If you were just to name one, Mike, what would be your least favorite? You can't cheat by saying like the Luke Combs answer.
Here's the thing.
Every other track you didn't say was your favorite.
This is true.
Or you can pull a
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go with Last Train Home only because it was like this big single for this album, and I thought it was garbage. So
Okay.
that song to me was like to be the first song on the album, the #1 big single, and sound like an absolute Toto ripoff. It was just. Yeah.
Okay, I can understand.
And it was the
that.
first song of the album I heard and was like instantly just nope.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's where I'm going with that.
Okay. All right. To me,
it's to you.
My least favorite, I think I'm gonna go Wild Blue. I think just vocally, it was just very boring, and I don't know. It was at that point in the album, it was like, should I continue listening to this album or not? And I know it's a single right now, but I just wasn't vibing with it. Wild Blue.
I agree. Yeah. Wild Blue is my least favorite. It was very much like he was tranquilized by something. It was very much
Stanley when they got to take him to the sales meeting.
Exactly. Yeah. No, definitely not my favorite. Instrumentation's just pretty bland for the whole thing too. Nothing sticks out. So that was my least favorite. In terms of Sleepy Dark Horse, I guess I just feel like I would say is up there, maybe tied with Shot in the Dark, even though I know that's kind of a a larger single that's kind of coming out right now. But I love both of those. They're in the second half of the album, and definitely ones you should check out if you haven't listened to this yet. So
Cool.
So you're gonna enjoy this.
uh-oh.
So I was listening to the album, and then I was just going along, phone in the pocket this morning, the whole deal. And the song "Come When I Call" live from the Nokia Theater came on, and it was a live version of one of his songs that came on directly after the album, and that is my sleeper because I was like instantly back into John Mitt, and I was like, oh shit, it's not on the album.
My
That
sleeper is something from another album.
That is vintage Mike.
But still by John Mayer.
Yes.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Vintage Mike. I love it. Oh my god. That's classic.
So I had to screenshot it so I remember what song it was. Because I was like, finally a song I like, and I realized it wasn't on the album. It wasn't.
Well, my Sleepy Dark Horse is, I guess I just feel like, which I saw was technically the second single off of the album.
Yeah.
Released in 2019, but I don't know. I don't remember it coming out, so I had never heard it until I listened to the album. And it being track 10, 9, 8, 7, that's where you tend to like kind of zone out and just let the album finish.
Yeah.
But this one, just right from the get-go, it caught me by surprise. I was tuned right into it, and then just the lyrical content really connected with me. So it was kind of like a true, dark horse song for me, a true sleeper.
Awesome. Nice.
And I also really like the album outro too. So I want to give that a shout out. All I Want Is to Be With You. It's a good sounding song.
Cool.
Sonically. So yeah.
Sonically, wow.
Yes.
The hedgehog.
Stole that word from you.
You did. Yeah.
Rate it.
Let's give it a rating.
Okay.
Joe, this is your album.
It is my album. I'm gonna give it. I'll give it a 6.
Okay.
Again, not my favorite album, but I like what he did. I like the retro vibes of it. There were a handful of songs that I really grabbed out of this that I liked. But I don't always want to listen to ballads. I wish there was a little more variety, but it's called Saab rock for a reason. So
yes.
I'm not going to try and undo what he did.
Okay.
But for me, I'm going to give it a 6. That's where I'm at.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I am going to actually give it a 6.5.
Oh,
look at that!
Ooh,
yeah,
nice.
I was pleasantly surprised by this album.
Cool.
It did show a lot of what he can do as an artist, in terms of not necessarily like stealing from the genre or like the style, I guess, but kind of being influenced by it a little bit. And I've heard some songs from this before. I love New Light. It's a really good song by him. And we've mentioned this style of music before, where you don't necessarily listen to it for a review, but kind of you put it in on the background in a specific setting. I think it plays really well. If you want something to listen to while you're on a boat, I feel like this is definitely something you want to do. I was pleasantly surprised. 6.5. Obviously there are ballads that are kind of weighed down a little bit for me, and there are certain other ones, but I did enjoy it overall.
Mike's thinking if he plays it while he's on a boat, he's going to fall asleep and the boat's going to capsize.
Jump into the rudder.
Yeah.
There's 10 tracks. 2 of them were okay. I'm giving it a 2.
That makes sense.
Okay.
That's it.
That's the best I could.
What were the 2? I guess I just feel like
and Till the Right One Comes.
Was that the
next one right after?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Other than those 2 songs, if I never heard a single one of them again, I'd probably be a happier person for it.
Damn.
It was just,
I like that.
I don't know if it was because I expected more from John Mayer.
Yeah.
Even with the 80s vibe and the Saab rock, I still expected more of him to shine through, of what I know. Even his pop albums, I feel like showcase more of his talent than that did.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but that was an absolute struggle for me.
I think it was the heavy presence of the synth and the keyboards, which brought the guitar back.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
I don't know. It was...
Yeah.
You could have told me that was not a John Mayer album, it was someone else's album, and I would have been like, oh, okay. I would have actually not been able to tell the difference. I felt like I was just not I might rank Dave Matthews higher than that.
Oh, wow. You
That
hate
was
Dave
bad.
Matthews.
At least the musicianship is always consistent.
Yeah, true.
That was a struggle.
Carter Beauford, the drummer for Dave Matthews, is a fucking beast.
Yeah, but that was
Okay.
that was a struggle for me. Big
2
time.
out of 10 bops.
Mm-hmm.
All
My
right.
lowest rank I think ever.
Could be. Yeah. At least out of 10. And the most, I don't want to say violent, but the most vocal you've been in a negative way on an album.
Yes.
At least Luke Combs sounded like what I expected Luke Combs to sound like.
Yeah.
It's just not for me.
This was just a disappointment
This
for you.
was just
Underwhelming.
absolute
So this is-
underwhelming disappointment.
The Mojo
lowest
Award goes
ranked.
to, yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this was bad.
Okay. So how about our 3 fizzes from Tribus? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like rank them where I like it, and then I'm gonna give each a score.
Okay.
Just very quickly.
Yeah.
So I like the raspberry surprised me. I really liked it, but I think I still have to go with the OG as my favorite. So I'm gonna rank mango number 1. Raspberry is a very, very close second. Very close.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to give pink guava the third. I wasn't a big fan of it. Wasn't a big fan of the flavor. And then as far as scores, I'm going to give mango a... How are we doing decimals now? Is it just like halves and wholes?
You can do whatever you would
I
like,
can do
Joe.
whatever I want. Okay. I'm going to give the mango a 7.5.
Okay.
I'm going to give raspberry a 7... I'll give it a 7.2.
Okay.
And then I'm going to give pink guava a 4. Wasn't a big fan of it.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at. Wait. 7.5. Yeah. 7.5, 7.2, and 4.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
In terms of order, I would agree with you. I like the mango the most. I think it just had the good balance of what you were looking for.
I think
in this
it's
kind of drink.
going after what they're trying to do with these beers the best, the mango.
Yes. So I would agree with that. The raspberry did have a bit more tart. I think it had the most flavor to it, and but it was a bit much for me. And then the what was it? The pink guava. It was kind of bland, but that was my rankings in terms of numbers. I would probably give a 7 for the mango. Probably give a 6 to the raspberry, and probably about a 5.5 for the pink guava.
Okay. All right.
So I would put raspberry as my first.
Okay.
Thought it had the most flavor and, kind of what I'm looking for in a sour, even a light sour. I thought the pink guava actually had more flavor than the mango. Thought the mango was very bland in comparison, so that would be my second, and then the mango would end up being my third. And
Yeah.
If you're into this style of not really super boozy sours, or if you're trying to, if you're into seltzers as well and want to kind of experiment with a little bit of them, I feel like this is definitely right up your wheelhouse.
Yep.
I would definitely go check it out.
Right. If you're not a beer fan, but you're trying to try something different other than a basic batch seltzer.
Don't drink White Claws. They're gross.
I like White Claw.
Trulies are fine.
Yeah.
But in terms of seltzer-based liquors, I like this one. This is definitely a good one.
Yeah. Yeah,
Cool.
I like what they did. Awesome. Well, there you go.
Give him the shout-out.
Shout out.
My boy, Johnny Mays.
Yeah.
Connecticut's own.
Connecticut's own, Fairfield's own.
You know him. You
Although
love
he
him.
says Bridgeport now, it doesn't say Fairfield. And then,
why would you choose Bridgeport over Fairfield?
I don't know. I even think he claims like New York sometimes.
He claims the whole tri-state area.
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah, I'm from
I went
everywhere.
to school in Mass.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway.
It's all the Coke.
And then my my home away from my home, which is away from my home, my third home, Tribus Beer Co. in Milford. I love it. I live 4 minutes from there. Tribus Beer Co. on Instagram.
4.25, but it's coming.
Great staff, great atmosphere, great food trucks, great beers. Go check them out. They always have some really cool special events on tap as well. So give them a follow and get their beers. Yeah. So thank you to Tribus and thank you, Matt, for your special message this time.
Awesome.
Next episode, 52.
52.
52.
It's Producer's Pick.
It is Producer's Pick.
Yes, Producer's Pick is back and better than ever. I have chosen a very interesting album that I hope you guys have a fair bit to say on. But I have brought a collaboration between Fair State Brewing Cooperative and Burial Beer out of North Carolina. It's called 𝙎𝙤𝙗. It is a double dry hop cool fermented hazy IPA with Strata, Mosaic Cryo, and Columbus Cryo hops.
Wow, lots of hops. And
I know, yeah.
should be very flavorful.
Exactly, yes. It's a very mysterious beer to go with a very mysterious album.
I think
the
so.
Money Store by Death Grips. I've been waiting since the beginning of the podcast to do this album for
Really?
you guys. Yes.
Okay.
And I think it's about time to bring that. So looking forward to that quite a bit.
Sounds good.
Yes.
All right, let's get that going. We're in our second 50 here. So, Hops and Bops
do it.
podcast on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you once again for listening and following us, and spread the word. We're streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. For Mike and Tom, I've been Joe. We'll see you next episode. Peace.